In this video, we are going to talk about requirements, but from a different perspective, the process. More precisely, about when to do requirements engineering within the software development process and the critical importance it has for an engineer or architect. I am sure you know that really many things can go wrong when a system, including a software system, is being developed. It can be possible that you developed something that I didn't want. Or it can happen that you develop exactly what I wanted, but not properly done. Very often, independently of what you developed, right or wrong, good or bad, you finished it late according to schedule. And even more often, due to the above topics, you got out of budget. Can you imagine me complaining about all these topics? Thinking about that, do you think that it would be a good idea for you to contract an insurance that would minimize the consequences? Seems to be a bit weird, but again, supposing that you can find an insurance to cover these previously described risks, would you be interested in looking at it? Because I would be. Yes, this insurance exists, and the name is Do Your Work Properly. I know that you are thinking this definition is really not professional at all, and it is ambiguous. It is everything besides helpful. So I will try to improve it a little bit, assuming that you have developed a system where any of the previously described risks had occurred. If you manage to prove your customer that you have exactly developed the functionalities she or he wanted, and that the final product performed them properly, then you are safe. If you want to produce and manage a software system properly, you have to do a lot of activities, like specifying what the customer wants or designing a software solution, but not all of them are related to development. In case of intensive distributed software systems, like about the Google search engine, for example, assuring power supply will be another activity. These activities must be done in the proper order, organized inside processes. Such a complication. Okay, let us talk software architect's language to put some order here. Don't be afraid about the terminology because it would be common to you along your profession. According to literature, every system has a life cycle. A system progresses through its life cycle as the result of actions performed and managed by people in organizations, using processes for execution of these actions. The life cycle of a system is usually formed by stages, and the system, as said, traverses from the first one to the last one, which usually is its decommission. For a software system, the stages usually comprise the concept, development, utilization, support, and retirement. If we consider the industrial systems like aircrafts, cars, then we must include the production stage, where the factories are assembling and delivering actual systems. Okay, we have defined a system life cycle and its stages. Now the management of the system at every stage is performed defining processes. And processes are operating defining activities, which are formed by tasks. Simply, you have to organize your work in large actions, composed by smaller actions formed as well by very small actions that can be assigned to humans. There's only one more definition left. The processes must cope with all the different types of actions that must be done when managing a system. This means that there are many different process types. For example, if you want to develop an app for a mobile phone, you will not only need to create requirements and code, you have to buy tools to do programming or testing. You have to hire persons, define bank accounts in case your program costs money to the users, etc., etc. So wow, am I telling you that you must invent and predefine the software lifecycle stages, the processes and the activities workflow you must apply? Luckily not. You know why? Because many people before you have suffered the same problems when developing systems. These lovely engineers, as the ground for better engineering along the planet, collected all the existing knowledge up to date and ensembled it in standards for the use of all of us. Do you want to check if the standards can help you? Let's see how the ISO 15288 norm can help us. The standard is named Systems and Software Engineering Systems Lifecycle Processes and clearly define the different processes typology, see a piece of the picture, as well as the processes and the stages. You can see that the processes are grouped in 4 sections. Technical processes, dealing with technical activities around the definition, modelization and representation of the system. Technical management processes, usually dealing with support processes to technical ones. Agreement processes, procurement, etc. And organizational process around project enabling. The processes are usually applied to every single stage in the system lifecycle, although with different intensity. Okay, as we are studying requirements engineering in this course, we, software architects, feel a particular attraction to learn more about the development stage and the processes within this stage that deal with requirements, the technical processes. In order to develop a system, observe that now I am only concentrating my focus on the development stage of the system lifecycle. We have to define the sequence, workflow of processes to be done. And luckily for us, do you know how does the literature name this sequence of processes? It calls it development lifecycle. Yes, another lifecycle name. Why the standards producers didn't use a better name? I will try to illustrate the differences between both. The system as a whole has always a life cycle. It is called system life cycle. Its stages were mentioned before in the video, but they include the development stage. And the development stage has its own life cycle, describing the steps that development process go through. This last one is called development life cycle. And the good news is, again, that the standards also provide you with different development life cycles to choose. Yes, we finally got to the point. The best engineer will always develop systems according to standards, as they represent the certified and agreed best practices up to date. Would you like to acknowledge my statement asking the real industry guys? Hi, Nicolas. Thank you for joining us in this course. I have a group of future software and system engineers, and today I am trying to explain them the importance of following standards. So my question for you is, why the industry is always following and producing standards when developing products?
Hello Juan. It is true that the industry is using standards for developing and managing complex systems, and there are 2 main answers to your question. The first reason is for legal and contractual aspects, since the authorities and our customers ask us to use standards as a means to acknowledge that we do the things right. Then, they audit us on the respect of those standards. The second reason is to assure and improve our engineering processes and our development's efficiency. We always want to do the best engineering up to date for safety, quality and economic reasons, and, usually, the best agreed engineering is described and compiled in standards.
Thank you, Nicolas. I do not have time in this video to describe the existing standards, but at least I can enumerate the most common ones. Please feel free to get and read them if necessary. Most of those standards concentrate themselves in defining and describing the different stages and processes of the system lifecycle, as well as they describe different development life cycles. Remember the difference? And they are waiting for you if you need them. In this video, we have tried to explain you that if you develop requirements, verify and validate the produced system against them, and use the standards to develop everything, you would have high probability to succeed during good engineering and a good system. Congratulations!